West music.
A dynasty is not always carved into marble walls,
August West on the beat.
or written in old books resting on polished shelves. Sometimes it is born under broken streetlights, where boys become men too early and children learn to read pain before they ever learn to read pages, where the sound of sirens becomes a midnight hymn, and every cracked pavement corner holds the memory of someone who once swore they would make it out, but got swallowed by the same streets that raised them with one hand and rubbed them with the other. I have seen families built from survival alone, mothers with tired eyes and warrior hearts stretching one meal across 3 hungry souls. Fathers carrying silence like loaded metal because the world taught them that weakness to get a man buried before his name ever meant something. An older brother standing at the gate like soldiers watching every shadow that moved wrong. Because in some neighborhoods, love is not spoken softly. It stands guard with bruised knuckles and a scar across its face, just to make sure morning has a chance to come home alive. Some of us were raised where respect was not something politely given. It was earned in cold conversation, spoken through clenched teeth, where loyalty was worth more than money, because money disappeared fast, but betrayal could stain blood for generations. And every young dreamer knew that that wrong move on the wrong night could turn ambition into a memorial shirt, printed with a face too young and dates that came too close together, while mothers whispered prayers over candles burning low, hoping heaven would answer before the streets did first. I learned early that a man can smile in your face while secretly measuring your downfall, that envy can sit at your table, eat from your plate, laugh at your jokes, then disappear when the rain starts falling. And those lessons do not come from books, they come from real nights with empty pockets and heavy thoughts, walking home past alleyways where temptation called your name like an old friend, promising quick money with slow consequences that could change your future. To one mistake made in a moment of desperation, there were days when hunger made pride feel expensive, when the refrigerator sounded hollow and the rent sat unpaid like a threat on the table. And still we learned to carry ourselves like kings with invisible crowns, because even when life stripped us down to almost nothing, there was still something dangerous about people who had suffered enough to stop fearing loss. Because once a soul survives fire, it no longer trembles at the smell of smoke. The streets taught us codes that schools never mention, like how silence can save your life, how watching is stronger than talking, how sometimes walking away is the most gangster thing a man can do. Because not every battle deserves your blood, and not every enemy deserves your energy. And sometimes the hardest thing for a wounded man is not throwing punches, it is breaking the cycle that made him believe. Pain was the only language he was allowed to speak. I have watched good men turn cold from carrying too much grief, seen soft hearts become stone after burying too many brothers, watched laughter disappear from faces that once lit rooms. Because trauma has a way of renting space in the chest and refusing to leave. And some people never really die once, they die slowly in pieces. Every time life takes another person they were not ready to lose, every time trust is broken, I'ma come hope returns only to leave again without warning. But a dynasty is not built because life was easy, it is built because somebody refused to fold, because somebody stood in the middle of chaos and said this pain will not be the final inheritance. Because somebody looked at broken history and decided their children would inherit wisdom instead of wounds, would inherit vision instead of vengeance, would inherit names that meant something beyond police reports, and whispered stories on forgotten corners. That is the real legacy. Not gold chains, not fast money, not borrowed power that disappears with the night, but becoming the one who turns survival into structure, who turns struggle into serenity, who turns scars into proof that even a life raised in concrete can still grow something sacred. Because the real gangster is not always the loudest man in the room. Sometimes he is the one who buried his anger deep, held his family together in silence, but through pain nobody saw, and still found a way to build a future with the same hands that once only knew how to defend themselves. And when people speak your name, years after the storms have passed, they should not only remember how hard you were, they should remember that you survived the dark without becoming all of it, that you came from ashes without turning into dust, and that from a life the world expected to break, you built a dynasty that could never be erased.